baby gorillas, and we're back in business. And what are we going to talk about today? Oh, fantastic. Let's talk about the Labour leadership contest. And didn't I tell you it was going to become fantastic? Absolutely superb. So what's the conflict in the Labour Party now? What big issue is it the Labour are discussing and it's made all the headlines? It's the trannies versus the thoughts. Oh, huge issue in British politics. So, and I think all three candidates have come down on the trannies side. If you don't know what trannies means, it's a Glaswegian term for transvestites. It's in a Scottish terminology. We call them trannies. So, what are the trannies and the thoughts? The thoughts are obviously the intersectional feminists who believe in equality and safe spaces. Oh my God. I swear, the hypocrisy is just absolutely laughable. Yeah, they have their own definitions of words. I'm sure they've got an interpretative dictionary that actually tells you what the underlying meaning of these words actually is, because it's not equality in any sense of actually knowing it. So what do the trannies want? The male tranny, or the just trannies just generally, want access to female areas. So I've now seen guys, a serial sex offender, going into a women's prison and sexually assaulting women, who says his name's Daphne or something. and Lisa Nando's, sponsored by the restaurant chain, thinks, well, that's okay. And the women, the thoughts, who want equality and inclusion only when it suits them, don't want to let the trannies into their safe spaces. I swear you couldn't write it, honestly. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, the lesbian intersectional feminists, which is a part of the intersectional, they've got the lesbos in there as well, don't want like a tranny male to female guy in a dress having affairs. They don't want to. So they're a bit like me. They don't want to have affairs with people who used to be men, who may still have their men parts. And the trannies are calling them bigots and transphobes and all the rest of the buzzwords. Oh, I swear I thought I was going to need an ambulance. So, what is happening? So, this is all in the inclusive nature of socialist politics. Because this is what, I told you under the Jewish question, Marx had the oppressive group of the Jews. And the Jews should be were oppressed. And I don't know why. Nancy Rothschild, I think, was one of the five brothers who had set up the Rothschilds Bank in Germany. In the 18th century, and obviously Marx wrote the Jewish question in the mid-19th century, and then National Socialism came in the 20th century, where the Jews were being oppressed by then. Then they had something to moan about. So, and this is where this intersectional feminism from Marx, from the reinterpretation of Marxian principles through the Frankfurt School in Germany, and intersectionality has come out of this. Everybody's oppressed. Oh, I'm oppressed. Oh dear. And but the only people who can be oppressed is white heterosexual males. Even though white heterosexual males are a minority in this country and should potentially get minority rights, they don't get any rights. They're allowed to be oppressed and just kicked out of jobs, as we've seen with the BBC and now actually actively discriminating against the indigenous population, which is why it should be getting privatised. I'm not sure about the subscription model. I would just privatise the full shebang and make some money, and let's invest in entrepreneurship. But the trannies are now battling against the thoughts. Trannies are throwing things with Antifa are on the trannies side, and the thoughts, these intersectional clowns, feminists who don't really believe in equality. But where do I stand? Well, I as a heterosexual male, there's a scale of where you would be being gay. Up to so a 0 is completely heterosexual, not interested in the same sex, which I respect. Lesbians and gay lesbians who don't want to have sex with people who were born men as well. So and they need to be protected just like heterosexual males. I would see being lied to by a gay man who had his penis cut off, or even if he was trying to pass himself off as a woman, as deceitful, and rape if anything was to happen of a sexual nature. I need to be protected under legislation just the same as anybody else's sexuality. But that doesn't happen because we're the acceptable class, acceptable minority to not have any minority rights. And that somehow that I share in this white privilege nonsense and all the rest of the stuff that came out of the Frankfurt School. And we'll get to the Frankfurt School later. But now these men are trying to get into the safe spaces for women. Now, there's a lot of things said about sexual assaults, but I go to France, and unless it's Muslims sexually assaulting people, you can walk along beaches and people are naked, they don't get sexually assaulted, you go swimming, they don't usually get sexually assaulted to the best part. And I see people, I do life drawing, they don't get sexually assaulted when they're naked. So, I mean, I don't know if, even if they were unisex changing rooms, that all this sexual assault would be happening. Usually, if it was unisex, there's a lot of people would certainly intervene at that point. And I think it's more to do with body confidence than anything else, that people are not body confident because they're a bit lazy and don't want to go to the gym and actually transform the body, which obviously Tyson Fury did. Well done to Tyson. That was absolutely excellent show. Deontay Wilder is an excellent boxer. And it was a great contest and really well done for coming back. I have had issues myself and had to come back from depression and things like that as well. So he's totally transformed his body. So I don't buy that all of a sudden, if you had communal changing rooms, that all of a sudden there would be all these sexual assaults in them. I don't buy that. I think there are sexual predators, and I think sexual predators will use the transvestite situation where you can self-identify to access women's areas, whether it's women's prisons or women's facilities. And then you'll actually have men, they might not have had the full operation, and they would be accessing ladies' changing rooms. So that will be up to them how the women want to do it. But it's absolutely fascinating. But this is where the Labour Party are a bunch of scumbags, because they will not protect white males. So if things are bad and happening to white males, if racism's happening against them, if they're being discriminated against, because the Labour Party is just now a party for immigrants at the expense of white males, and white females to a lesser extent as well, although there are female protections, they don't care. So, and as they want more immigrants to come, the white men, white and especially white heterosexual men, where we're now seeing a failing birth rate in the UK, that Nicola Sturgeon, who can only say, let's get more visas in, not to increase our own population, by actually asking women to have more children and incentivising it. we're now seeing the fact that she's only got that one strategy of getting more visas rather than increasing the birth rate. And this is where the point is. The Mail, I think it was the Daily Mail, came out and said there was things happening in Nicola Sturgeon's life, and I think they were alluding to there's been allegations that Nicola Sturgeon's a lesbian or in a lesbian relationship, which I don't think matters in itself. If you're a lesbian, I mean, look at Joanna Cherry. Joanna Cherry's the most obnoxious MP that you could potentially get. I mean, a misandrist, just a horrible, horrible person, and she's continually re-elected. But Nicola's intersectionality, I think Nicola is an intersectionalist feminist, which means that she follows the Frankfurt School on marks that she feels hard done by for being a lesbian, for being a woman, and that she has been oppressed. And that's permeating, you shouldn't be bigoted about other people. Well, I agree, I don't think you should. If any lesbian or gay person, I would recognise their rights. I would talk to them just as I talk to anybody else. But I think this is going to be a problem for Nicola because it looks like she's been deceitful. And I think her personal life is potentially her own personal life. But if she's been lying to people, I think it's more the deceit that's going to be the problem, more than if she just came out and said, I'm a lesbian. We've already seen leaders of other parties, Ruth Davidson, Kezia Dugdale, and Joanna Cherry. But I mean, we're seeing a lot of gay people in different aspects of Scottish life. And the difficulty with being gay is not the sexuality itself. The difficulty is when you don't have any children, you don't have a shoe in the game for the future, and you're following this Marxist oppression Olympics that, as I said, came out the reinterpretation at the Frankfurt School. And she's the head of the government. So how in what way can she be oppressed in her day-to-day life? And it's not all sunny and light. Well, it's not sunny and light for any of us, I don't think. And especially those minorities who are not even being protected under certain protected classes, which they choose who's protected. Why should one person be more protected than another? Why is it one rule for one and one for another? I don't agree with that, and I don't agree with Marxism, and I don't agree with the Frankfurt School anyway. So these are all things that are going to start to get picked at a political level because it looks like Nicola Sturgeon has not come out as a lesbian and not actually told the truth. Or bisexual, whatever, I don't know, it's bisexual or lesbian. It's an irrelevance. It's not the fact of her sexuality, it's going to be the political issue. It's going to be the fact that she is an intersectional feminist, now lesbian, that she thinks she's in a persecuted class, yet being the First Minister of Scotland. You can't have both. Can't have both. So, that's a big issue. And that's where I think where the pressure is coming from for her to actually be truthful. I think that's what the Daily Mail was actually alluding to. There's been allegations about whether these allegations are true, I don't know, but that's certainly been the allegations. Yeah, I have no idea if these allegations are true. But what we need to do is increase our own birth rate internally within the country, and that's the issue that we need to do. Not just import a whole bunch of other people to fill jobs that, I don't understand why they're not getting Scottish people to fill the jobs. There are people who are unemployed and they may need worked on. But this is again a failure from the education system, which is now down 10% on higher attainments. That we're not identifying children with specific learning difficulties, being able to turn their lives round. We've not got a comprehensive screening process, being able to turn their lives round and get them into the workforce because they're just allowed to twist in the academic wind. And that's another failure of Nicola Sturgeon's government. Woof! So, the trannies versus the thoughts. So, we've now seen another shit show from the Labour Party. Keir Starmer is going to be equally as bad. Keir Starmer's looking like the favourite. Bubblehead Long Island iced tea is potentially falling away, and Lisa Nando's is in second, but I think just now that really surprised me, and I might have had my prediction wrong. Keir Starmer is the strongest candidate, but he's also a London elitist Remainer in the Trilateral Commission with Epstein, and so he's definitely been cut, like Tony Blair was, to follow the globalist agenda, and he won't, I don't think, get back in. Sir Keir Starmer will not get the red wall back for Labour. So we're talking maybe 5-10 years out of government for the Labour Party. If it's done properly, there could be another British political party that comes in and becomes the official opposition, because the Labour Party are just looking like a complete shit show. So that's quite interesting. So the thoughts versus the trannies. So there has to be protection for my sexual rights. So I don't see transvestite women to men as women. I see them as gay men with their penises cut off. And I'm not gay in any sort of way. If people are bisexual or gay and want to sleep with a transvestite, I don't have any problem with that. And I certainly wouldn't be being disparaging to any person that's going through the change, and I believe they should have the right to change. What I believe in is having protections for me, legal protections, that I don't have to be forced by Lisa Nando's or Long Island Iced Tea or Sir Keir Starmer to actually be forced to what to think and what to do. I'm not interested in. They can think like that. I don't have to be forced or thought policed by a bunch of commies. So I'm not interested in that. So very interesting, very interesting. So if if you're a man to woman and you're into other women, then I don't have a problem with that. It's nothing to do with me. I'll speak to you just normally as I would speak to anybody else. But if you're a gay man with your penis cut off and you're trying to make moves on me from a sexual point of view, then that's a no-go, and I need legal protection to protect my sexuality, just as women do for theirs. So that's it. I think it's hilarious. This is the rock. This is the big issue that they've got. Trannies versus thoughts, the intersectional feminists versus the transvestites, and the trannies are being supported by Antifa. So and being a libertarian, I'm very much open to people's sexualities. I don't have a problem with people having different sexualities, being gay. I have zero problem with that. I have zero problem with people transitioning from men to women. And I speak to anybody, regardless of their sexuality, just as I would anybody else. But it's very, very, very funny. I mean, the hypocrisy and the double talk that's coming out of the left is just absolutely incredible. And these intersectional feminists, a lot of them are lesbians as well. This is where a lot, I think, the bad attitude from women, that obviously lesbian women want to make out with other women, and they get put in with the intersexual feminists, and they try and corrupt the relationship between heterosexual men and heterosexual women, even if these are feminists. And yeah, I think there's a lot to be said in that situation. Especially socialists have tried to destroy the family, tried to destroy stable relationships between men and women, and a lot of bad ideas have come out the left for people's own selfish self-advancements. And to the extent where we've got a declining population, heterosexual women are not having enough children. If you're not having at least 3, maybe 4 children, then we're in a declining population situation. And what we really need to do is actually have more sex and have better, stronger man-to-woman relationships, so that we can have more children, at least 4 children. And the other thing is that polygamy. I mean, obviously the Muslims and the Mormons believe in polygamy, one man marrying more than one wife. And women seem to have a lower desire for sex than men do. Maybe that's a misnomer, but certainly they don't act on it or have a requirement for as much as men, I would suggest. But I think the polygamy and the fact of actually having multiple wives, if that increases the birth rate, then I'm not opposed to actually just having polygamy for everybody. The difficulty is, I think if you're disseminating, I don't know, you're going to have a lot of kids from the one father, which we've already seen, like in like the Jewish faith, the Muslim faith, inbreed in royalty. The inbreeding becomes a problem when you're having sex with a family member. It then becomes a problem. Then it leads to birth defects, and we've already seen the stats for that as well. So, thoughts versus the trannies in the Labour Party. That's a big issue. That's as big as the issues get in the Labour Party. They've lost already. My baby gorillas, you know I love you.